Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another AI in 15, where every weekday morning in the lead up to Christmas, we do something with AI in 15 minutes. So we start refresh and up to speed for the new year. My name is Matthew Kershaw, 20 plus years in content marketing and digital media, 6 years in AI, and I help businesses build modern marketing and production engines using AI, help their people get to grips with AI practically and safely, and build a roadmap towards better quality, faster speed, and lower cost. So, good morning, everyone. Um, Today we're going to be looking at planning. Like it's the that end of the year period where people are starting thinking, oh, about next year. I mean, many of you will have thought about next year a long time before this, but people are starting to take stock and look back. So I thought, let's see how AI can help us with that. And I've actually got available in the replays will be four prompts. One of which is to do with sort of personal planning, what your personal plans for the year, how do you want to show up next year? Financial planning, more aimed at kind of small businesses and personal finances rather than big businesses where you've probably got an accountant to do that for you. New Year resolutions, and just of thinking a bit further ahead, like how do I get to a 5 year vision? So those are all going to be available in the replays. However, I'm going to focus today pretty much on that first one, the personal planning bit. And I want to show you the prompt kind of in action. So hopefully this will work. Can you all see my screen still? Great. So this is the prompt itself. Oh, sorry. Yeah, you can see here, this is the document I'm going to link to. So you've got your personal planning meta, I call it a meta prompt. Effectively down at the bottom here, I'll move it to the top, make it easier, is a meta prompt that helps you get to the other three prompts I've built. I'll explain why that in a minute. And then you've got your other ones here. So those are the prompts. But let's see how they work in action. So I didn't want to let you into my personal private world of pain, obviously, in about 2026. But so I've done this in the character of another person. It's for you to work out who that person is. I don't know that person very well, so I've had to sort of invent and make up a lot of stuff. It was interesting as I will walk through it, it's asking deeper and deeper questions, and more I felt out of my depth. I didn't really fully know this person, so therefore um, it gets a bit weak towards the end, but I'll run you through it. So this is the whole prompt. This prompt I just put in, cut and paste that all in, boom, boom, boom. Quite a long one, as you can see. All right, and then I just press go, and it says, right, let's take this gently. First question, no planning yet. Right now, does the year ahead feel mostly overwhelming, unclear, or already underway? So I put unclear. I put an album out about my ex-partner, which did really well, but I don't know what my next step is in 2026. So that's right. Okay, that's helpful. So it's kind of probing a bit harder. So do you feel more in need of focus on decisions or reflecting and grounding? Because it can't quite work out from my answer. So I've said focus on decisions. Got it. Have you already set any intentions or plans for the year? I want to get another album out. Okay, that's good. Direction is forming. Do you feel off track? Or do you feel like you're not really on track yet because your next path isn't defined? So I'm like, oh, I haven't really started the process of writing and recording yet. Need to get that started. In case you're guessing, anyone, let me open this floor. Who is this person? Just anyone?
Lily Allen.
Lily Allen, correct. So I'm not particularly close to Lily Allen, so I'm having to make some of this up. But I haven't started the process of writing and recording yet, so I need to get that started. Plus, emotionally, had a hard time this year. I think I need to think again about how I, start to have romantic relationships. So it's sort of still probing, okay, you need decisions and forward motion. What would help now? A plan, a reset, or a check-in? So I said a plan. I just want to get going. So it's decided that the best prompt for me is number one, which is about designing the year ahead. And based on what you shared, we'll go with that. So what were the highs of last year? And now we're into kind of one of those prompts. There's a sort of three ways it could have gone. So I released my album, very successful financially and culturally. That's a big high. What drained your energy or felt like a mistake? Oh, yeah, difficult personal relationships. What did you spend time on last year that in hindsight wasn't really worth it? I had a lot of time taken up dealing with my living situation, housing. Had some housing issues last year, Lily Allen. Where did you grow last year? Oh, well, I almost backslid into addiction, but I made it through. I feel really proud of that. What patterns keep repeating? Felt good to be recording and working. Felt bad to have my time taken up emotionally. So it's sort of getting to feel for you, right? Decide what matters. What do you want more of this year? Well, I want to follow up that album with another success. What do you want less of? Less worrying about men. What are you no longer willing to tolerate? So it's starting to get into some quite deep questions here, which I thought was really interesting. I wasn't necessarily expecting it. I guess I'd started off and I was talking about, abusive relationships and so on. So maybe not surprising. What do you want to feel this year to feel like day to day productive? So she's in a really productive mood now. Right, so moving to step three, focus areas. So we've gone from kind of a period, it's kind of like getting a sense of feel for, for me and my year and where my head is at. It's now starting to kind of get to plans. This is a very, uh, you see a lot, it's a lot with sort of professionals in this space, coaches and stuff. They want to move you to action and decision from us, you've got a sense of the state and now move to decision. So what do you want to do next year? Well, I want to make an album that hits culture and gets me out there, maybe start touring again. Work and money. So it's like getting really specific now. When you imagine the album getting you out there, what does that look like? So it's getting to really specifics here. So touring where, what size of audience, income, blah, blah, blah. So I said I want a global tour, not stadiums, but one step down, collaborating with a really interesting other artists. And I want to make $10 million. I mean, I have no idea what Lily Allen makes, but I've just put 10 million. Why not? Um, so it's thanking me for that, blah blah blah, and then it starts to get into well, okay, so what do you need to get to that? If that's what your output is, what? So this is just classic coaching, right? Um, so I need to get a good team around me. I need to get some alone time, blah blah blah. Anyway, I won't go too much further with this because I think you can kind of get the idea. What's the health and energy you need to be able to get to that goal that you've now set yourself. So it gets you to setting a goal, and then it starts to go, well, what are the things necessary to make that happen? So um, you know, and who do you not want to be around? Snaky, deceitful people, obviously. Only work with trusted, blah blah blah. So I didn't finish it because I got to a point where I'm like, this is getting a bit bullshitty because I'm not Lily Allen. I don't really know, can't speak for her and her what's inside her head. But it was pretty good. So I would urge you all to try that. It's available. See what you think. We're back on the main deck. Yeah, good. I'm just going to use it because I want to talk about how I got to those prompts. Because as usual, I don't want to give you a fish. I want to teach you how to fish. Um, So what I did was I actually found sources on the internet. I found where I thought were really interesting planning methodologies, personal planning methodologies. And I took those and I turned them into a couple of different ones. I turned them into prompts. And then basically I got ChatGPT or get your chatbot to just kind of evaluate those prompts. Like, hey, there's two prompts here for personal planning. What am I missing? And it said, well, actually, there's a third one you haven't thought of, which is around this other stuff. So that's how I got to my third prompt. And then I said, right, well, actually, I want a meta prompt. I want a prompt that will talk to the person and get it and direct it towards one of those three prompts. So this is how you build, really these really sophisticated prompts that will do multi-stage processing and have an ongoing conversation with you. So that's how you do it. Just a couple other quick things. This is a bit like what they call step back prompting. And this is a technique which I just want to quickly touch on, which is how you get more accurate and supposedly insightful responses from your ChatGPT. And the way it works is that you typically might just go, you give it a problem and you get a result. And usually that's quick, but it's quite shallow. It can be quite, it gives you the kind of the most obvious version of that thing and the quickest version of that thing. It's usually not that deep. And you recognize, I'm sure we've all had moments where we've recognized this, where we've put something in, particularly in an area where we have some knowledge about it, and it comes back with something like, yeah, that's kind of the surface version of that. That's not really, you're not getting into it properly. So the alternative is what they call step back prompting, which is you don't give it the problem first, you ask it to extract the underlying principles. What makes a good planning helper, for example? What are the principles of personal planning for a year ahead? And then it takes that as the framework to build its everything else off. And then it will build you that kind of much more informed solution. So this step back prompting is something that's worth looking at for sure. Just a couple other things, not sort of side things, just because I knew we would have time. I don't know if anyone's noticed if you use ChatGPT, they now have in the options this style choices, so you can make it more or less warm, enthusiastic, etc., etc. I hate emojis in ChatGPT, so I would probably turn that off, for example. So definitely go and have a look at that and tweak it to your style. And I just want to also check if everyone's using within that same kind of personalization section, there's a thing where you can give it a load of instructions. And I don't know if you use that, but it's definitely worth doing. This is my kind of list, which again I'll put in the replays, but and you're free to grab it, but definitely always be tweaking your ChatGPT to make it sound, more like you. So that's it. A bit of a short one today. Any questions?
Matthew, where can I find out in the settings the chat the
Yeah, let me go to it actually.
I think a really good thing to put in those instructions is um, don't use negative, positive restatements.
Oh yeah, I hate that. Yeah, it's not
Does it
this,
all the
it's that.
time.
Yeah, it's true. I hate that. I'm
Sorry,
gonna.
what do you mean by negative positive
It'll
statements?
say
So
quite often. No, go on, Vino.
it's not this, it's that. Or so and so talks about this topic, not that. It does a lot of positive, negative, or negative, positive restatements, a lot of contrast or binary statements.
Right.
And I think, especially if you're on LinkedIn and you see how people use ChatGPT to write their LinkedIn posts, you see that all the time.
Sorry, but so back to this question that Sharon asked about where to find this. So if you go to your sort of your name thing down here,
yeah.
and go to personalization, it brings up this view. One of them is enthusiastic, calmer and more neutral for rich for sure. And that's where your custom instructions are as well. It's called custom instructions. You can see I put default to UK English, blah 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 blah.
Perfect. Thank you.
So that's where to find that. Great. So thank you very much for your time today. Tomorrow, I don't know what we're doing tomorrow, but it's going to be something fun. But I've no idea what that is yet. So come out tomorrow. Tomorrow is the last one. So thank you very much for being with me this long. I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, tell your friends, wolf.co/sign up. That's wolf with two O's .co/sign up. And I will see you all tomorrow. I hope.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.